Right guys, welcome back to the channel and to the garden. Today's video, as you may have seen from the title and thumbnail, we're just going to be taking a look at the Phoenix robelinii. This one in particular is from B&M, but this will also go as a standard sort of general care guide for the Phoenix robelinii, certainly for the UK. So stick with us as we take a look at this palm. This one again is a new in for us in the UK for our sort of box store B&M. They have been sold on sort of specialist palm shops and things like that. But you can just see here in front of me now, this is the Phoenix robelinii that I picked up from B&M. Now, just down here, guys, you can see it is in quite a small pot. We've got about maybe a foot or so of trunk, and again leaves going up somewhere in the order of around about 4 to 5 foot on this one. So this is also known as your pygmy date palm. And when you're taking a look at this, I think one of the kind of eye-catching sides to it is certainly its kind of feather-like leaves, being a feather palm. Now you may have seen other palms such as your Phoenix canariensis, which is sort of a relative of, or the Canary Island date palm. Now those we do get in the UK and are typically sold for very inexpensive for a small plant. Now unfortunately, similar to these, it's the hardiness that can be a struggle for us here in the UK. Now when you look at these, most places will say sort of 18 to 24 degrees C, with a minimum nighttime temperature of around about the 10 degrees C. But in reality, guys, these can go down to a -5 degrees C for short periods of time. But with that said, of course, this is a bit more of a tender palm here. So ideally, you'd want to be offering some form of winter protection for this. Now, before we go into the winter protection side, just a little bit more about the palm itself. Now this palm, as it being a pygmy date palm, is sort of a dwarf palm. So it only gets up to about sort of 2 to 3 meters high at maximum. So it should be easier to protect if you are looking to protect something like this. Unlike our Phoenix canariensis, your Butea palms, a couple of the other kind of feather palms, even your Jabea chilensis. These palms do get very, very large over time, and at some point, theoretically, we really are going to struggle to protect them. So we just hope that kind of thickness is going to get the hardiness for us here. Right, so with this palm here, again, with it being a palm more from the kind of southern United States and other areas like that, it does prefer the kind of heat to get going, but also you're not going to be wanting to plant this in sort of full sun, as it can sort of damage the fronds, the new fronds and things like that as they come out. So ideally you want kind of part to full sun or dappled shade it can do well in. Now with this palm as well, it is more of a moisture loving palm. Now when I say that, we don't want to drench it and have it soggy, have soggy feet or anything like that. But of course it's going to love a little bit more moisture than some of the other palms, but it can tolerate periods of drought as well. Now with this palm, typically in the UK, I would say if you are purchasing this, really you're going to be looking to grow it in, say, a conservatory, pull it outside for the summer months perhaps, but really and ideally, if you can keep it in sort of a greenhouse conservatory, something like that, where it's going to not really go down to those really cold temperatures, that's going to be the best for this palm as well. Now me personally, guys, with this one, I am going to be getting this one in the ground and trialing it out here in my sort of jungle area of the garden in Leicestershire, UK. Just to mention, if you haven't caught our most recent garden tour, broke that down into 3 parts, so certainly check that out. The last part being the area we're standing in here, which is the proposed sort of jungle area of the garden, if you will. But what I'm going to do, guys, is to get this out of the pot and show you what the root system's like when it's sort of come from a box store like B&M. As well as that, I'll show you kind of where we're planting it, got an idea, and if you watched our most recent part 3 of the jungle area tour, you will see kind of where I had it put and placed, and I think we're going to kind of keep that one there. So what I'll do, just get it out the pot, show you the root system, we'll get it in the ground, and go over the last couple tips on this one here. Right, so you can just see down here, guys, the root system. Does look quite healthy. Looks like it has been in the pot for some time, so it's looking slightly pot bound, but that's certainly a good sign. With such a large trunk, I would imagine again this has been maybe grown in a field or in a greenhouse, something like that, in a different setting, and then when they've done is place this in a pot sort of within the past maybe year or so, and of course that has filled out the pot there. Certainly with that sort of size, thickness of trunk compared to the sort of depth and width of the pot, again, I would be very surprised if this has sort of been in this pot always. With that said, I'm going to be placing this just into this little corner here, but what we're going to do is get out some of the existing plants down there, as well as sort of backfill that with some sort of gravel and soil for drainage, and kind of lift it up slightly so you can get kind of an arching effect as we look down our sort of jungle path here. We'll just get that started and show you what that looks like. So just to show you here, we have got this in the ground in the proposed location. You can just see I have raised it by approximately about the pot height. So if we put the pot back, you can just see we're just at about the height of the pot there. Did use a lot of the gravel and sort of compost mixed with dirt as drainage. Now, reason I've chose this spot is again for sort of winter protection. You can see the Washingtonia robusta here. Now, typically these really don't do well sort of in our climate outdoors. There's a few examples of some very large ones, but for the most part, you know, the Washingtonia robustas, the Phoenix canariensis that you can get, both inexpensive, but really it's almost like a summer bedding unless you're willing to bring it inside. This did again take a -6 degrees C without any winter protection, and it did pull through with a green leaf here, which you can just see. But down here, there's your winter damage really kind of pulling off there. So we're going to see how this one does. But again, the reasoning behind planting it in the same sort of location is because I've had a bit of luck with the sort of more tenders when they're right up next to a fence. I think the kind of fence and of course the darker colors on the fence help to just raise that little bit of temperature, but also help against protection against sort of wind, frost, things like that. This one again, I'm going to be giving it you know, a really good level of protection this winter, so stay tuned when we do go through the video of actually protecting this in place. You can just see if I pan this way, I've got another one as well. Now this one it appears to be in the ground, but it is actually sort of in a larger pot, which I'll be bringing this one potentially inside, and it will just be to again just do a comparison to in the ground, in the pot, and just see how we get to here. Just come back around that way, sorry for the quick spin. Yeah, just overall, guys, you know, would I recommend the Phoenix ROEBELENIs from B&M? I think for the price, I think this one was only £37.50. I think for the price, they're absolutely worth it, but just bear in mind, you're probably going to be looking to keep it inside of a conservatory or something like that for the winter, really, if you don't want to be messing around with too much winter protection. Another last point with these, and just to mention, these are great. You know, one of the better palms for growing indoors as well, as they don't sort of get that huge height, but also they don't mind the kind of bit more, you know, the conditions we have indoor compared to outdoors. So again, this could be a great one if you wanted something as an indoor palm, potentially bring it out in the summer, things like that. But yeah, with that said, guys, really just a quick one here, give you a bit of information on the Phoenix ROEBELENI if you're thinking about purchasing one, or you may have just picked one up, say, from B&M, wondering kind of what to do with it. Yeah, with that said, just wanted to kind of get that out there for everyone. If there's anything I've missed or more information you'd like on this, put it down in the comments section below. If you haven't checked out the friends of the channel, that will also be in the comments section below. Of course, if you're not subscribed to the channel, certainly feel free to do so. Join our amazing community. And with that said, of course, thanks for watching. See you on the next one.